It's going to transform everything, all society. Bitcoin is only valuable because it's valuable. It has no technological advantage. It's actually the least advanced of all the cryptocurrencies and least feature risk. There's no reason for it other than the fact that it exists. And if the value plummets, no one will mine it, and then you lose all your security. So the minute that it gets flipped by another cryptocurrency, unless they can find a way to actually innovate again, Bitcoin will die, in my view. But regardless of where you're at, whether you're a maximalist or a person who loves all these coins or hates all of them, I think it's a moment for all of us to reflect about the fact that we're moving towards portfolio-based value. And this is it. The revolution has come, is here to stay. And in the next few decades, everything is going to change about the way wealth works. And that is a direct result of the vanguard that Bitcoin had. It is, in my view, the most significant human invention of the last 100 years. Yeah, there can be collapses. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 30, 40, 50, 60% reduction.
Bitcoin will die, in my view. There's no reason to hold it. In this video, Charles Hoskinson argues against the king of all cryptocurrencies and gives a Bitcoin prediction and lays out the circumstances in which the Bitcoin ecosystem will suffer. Now, for those who don't know who Charles Hoskinson is, he is the founder of the smart contract network Cardano and co-founder of Ethereum. He has been in the cryptocurrency space for many years and is a very smart guy. The Cardano coin has recently rocketed its way up the cryptocurrency market cap rankings and is currently comfortably sitting in the top 5 coins, so they are clearly doing something right. For reference, I personally disagree with the arguments and prognosis that Hoskinson gives, and in the second half of the video I will lay out why. Personally, I hold both Bitcoin and Cardano and am bullish on both projects in terms of what lays ahead and their future price action. Keep in mind, Hoskinson is the founder of Cardano or ADA, so you could argue he has a biased view. However, I do believe it is important to take on board the criticisms and counter viewpoints of your investment thesis, and as Charles Hoskinson has been in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space for so long, I do believe he presents a valid line of reasoning. To watch the full interview, check out the first link in the description, a great interview conducted by Dave Lee on investing. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video where I will show you a counter argument to Hoskinson as well as 2 pieces of recent data that suggests where the Bitcoin price is likely to go from here. And to address the cyborg lens flare eyes in the thumbnail, many figures in the cryptocurrency space have changed their profile pictures to ones with lens flares as eyes as a sign of solidarity for Bitcoin as it moves into a $1 trillion market cap. To join in, my thumbnails for the next few days will join in the fun. Also, only a tiny percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you enjoy the video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Enjoy the video.
But why Bitcoin over DigiCash or over BitGold or any of these other projects? It was just one of those right place, right time things in the right community. And of course, with all successful things, the minute you have a successful thing, it seldom is the thing that ends up being around forever, because there's no reason to hold it over its neighbors. This is one of the reasons why we work so hard with Cardano in particular at trying to build a proper governance system, because you don't want a situation that every time you want to do an innovation, you end up with a Cardano Classic or Cardano Cash or these types of things. Bitcoin lost some of its earliest and best people over just the block size, a system parameter. It just tells you if you can't even agree on something so trivial as a block size, then how do you get post-quantum crypto when quantum computers come? How do you get smart contracts? How do you get, new ways of structuring the network stack? How do you move from a replicated model to a decentralized model? How do you throw data away? What happens when the Bitcoin blockchain is a petabyte and only 2 people can have it as NSA and Google? So what do you do with that? And if you can't decide a block size, how the hell do you decide these much more significant and serious things? You need a governance system that sits on top of it. And unfortunately, that's so far beyond the initial vision of Satoshi. That's like going to a bunch of Jews and trying to convince them that, Jesus Christ is their savior. You have a whole new religion, okay? You're not really going to succeed in that respect. You're just, it is what it is. You have to accept that these things coexist. So what usually happens is that when the evolutionary and competitive dynamics of the system are counterproductive to growth beyond a certain point, the system will stall. And then 1,000 flowers will bloom. The vast majority of them will wilt, but some of them will become a mighty oak, and they will replace the old system. And it will assume all the, absorb all the goodness of that system, but not carry the bad characteristics of it. Mm-hmm. So you'll still have the blockchain component. You'll still have it be able to settle transactions the way Bitcoin does. The email for money thing will be there. But then you'll have smart contracts and governance and interoperability and much faster capabilities, and the ability to be global scale and work really well on a cell phone and have privacy and all these additional features and functionality. And if that doesn't happen, one of the other 1,000 flowers will have that, and then eventually they'll meet in the middle and kind of merge together and get to the next system and so forth. It's a very Darwinian system in that respect, and that's great. Whoever is the prophet who leads people out of the cave usually gets his own religion. So Satoshi got one, and of course, like all true deities, he's dead. Satoshi's alias is gone and it's buried, and even if Satoshi was to return, there's no way to convince people that that person's Satoshi. Like if you sign with the PGP key, people will be, oh, well, you stole it or you hacked it or something. Hey, Lenstra's research has gotten to the point where we can break a 1K RSA key. So, clever guy, or something like that. All right, no one actually will believe you're the prophet after the prophet has ascended into the heavens. So it makes perfect sense, and it's just people who need hope. When you lose faith in institutions and governments, you need to find faith somewhere, and so they've traded faith in government or religion or whatever to faith in code and faith in that culture, and they believe if only they're a good enough prophet, they're a good enough cleric, they're a good enough priest of the cult of Satoshi, then they shall be rewarded. In this particular case, it's with wealth and power and being part of this new economic order. So that maximalism is predictable, and it's extremely harmful to the project as a whole. Because the reality was the project was pedagogical. The whole point of it was supposed to demonstrate that you could have decentralized value. You could teleport it around the world, and to get people into the mindset of, well, what else can you do? And go and do the next thing. It was never intended to become a religion, but it became one because humans are humans. It's almost like the Warhammer 40K universe with the God Emperor. When he was living in the universe, he was like this secular guy, and he said, venerate, but don't worship me. But then the first thing everybody did after he got constrained to the Golden Throne is everybody started worshiping him, the corpse god. And it's exactly what's happened with Satoshi. He's become the God Emperor of the 40K universe. People venerate this corpse god and so forth. But it is what it is. And unfortunately, it has infected some people to a point where they have become exceedingly toxic. Anyone who does anything, Ethereum, whatever, it's a Bitcoin. It's a bad deal. We've just brought all these people into the cryptocurrency space. No, it doesn't matter. It's Bitcoin. But there's only one truth, Bitcoin. We spent 6 years researching proof of stake stuff for Cardano. And, we have a much better protocol in our view. It's been peer reviewed by major academics and major institutions. They say, oh, no, it doesn't work. It can't work. It doesn't follow the vision of Satoshi. That's no longer a rational conversation. It's religious extremism in that respect. And human beings have a tendency to do that. And if you want a great historical analysis of it, read Yuval Harari, his Sapiens book and his follow-on book, Homo Deus. And it gives you a sense of what humans tend to do over the arc of history.
Mm-hmm. So there's Charles Hoskinson's argument and bear case for Bitcoin. Honestly, some strong points, and the Darwinian argument that competition is good for the entire sector is an important one. Although I don't necessarily agree, if you are a Bitcoin maximalist, there are definitely some points that are worth considering. Now, to show that Charles isn't against Bitcoin, here he is shortly after Bitcoin passed a $1 trillion market cap, speaking about the importance and significance it has had.
And this is a milestone, a very visual milestone about why and how. Yeah, there can be collapses. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 30, 40, 50, 60% reduction. But even if that happens, you still have to understand at this point, there's hundreds of billions of dollars floating around, and that's not going anywhere. So even with a correction, it doesn't matter anymore. It's inevitable. And we should all celebrate for that. That's a great moment for our industry. It's a great moment for all those who dare to dream. This is it. The revolution has come, is here to stay. And in the next few decades, everything is going to change about the way wealth works. And that is a direct result of the vanguard that Bitcoin had.
So there you can see he clearly respects what Bitcoin has done and the significance it has had in general. Now, to argue against his point, I want to present an argument by billionaire and Bitcoin bull Chamath Palihapitiya in regards to once the market has chosen a category winner, it will continue to outperform and win compared to its peers. Examples of this can be seen with Apple in mobile phones or Google as a search engine. The market chose a winner, and once this emerged, it was only logical to back the category winner. Listen in to this point.
The gains typically go to the winner. So I'll use an equity example. If you believed in smartphones, you could have bought a basket of things in 2010 or 2008 or 9 when the iPhone first got released. You could have bought Nokia and Motorola and Samsung and HTC, or you could have just bought Apple. And Apple, frankly, just crushed everybody else. The point is that in any market, when there's a clear winner, it's not that these other things can't win, but there's a weird psychological effect that almost drives these second and third tier winners, which is a desire by people almost out of this sense of insecurity to not want to admit that there's a winner simply because they weren't the one to pick it first. And yeah, can they win? Sure. But do they ever win like the category killer? No.
So a good argument as to why Bitcoin will continue to win and outperform. Yes, other altcoins have superior functions and usability in comparison to Bitcoin, however, they have not been chosen by the market to be the category winner, and as history tells us, the gains usually go disproportionately to the category winner. Finally, to finish off, I want to provide 2 pieces of data that imply that Bitcoin has much more upside to go for this cycle. These points were made by analyst Benjamin Cohen, who does some great technical analysis on cryptocurrencies. I'll leave his channel in the description. First, the logarithmic regression of the crypto market cap and trend line. Here we can see the trend of the crypto market since its inception, and compared to previous bull runs, it looks as if we have significant upside still remaining in this run. Good for both Bitcoin and other cryptos such as Cardano. Second, we have the Bitcoin valuation with the trend line sloping lower in terms of percentage gains compared to previous bull runs. Although this suggests less percentage gains compared to previous runs, it also implies that we have a long way to go in terms of total valuation. Great data to see and bullish for the outlook of cryptocurrencies. Anyway, I hope that provides something valuable for you guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Appreciate you tuning in, and as always, have a great day.